the energy of Mars that can hold our connection to our divinity no matter fucking what. Without that warrior, then we fall. And when we fall, the first thing we do is blame something or someone. We blame God. That's the abandonment wound. We blame the environment. We're not in a solarized culture yet. There are, like it's still a dog-eat-dog world. Nobody cares about the soul. Can't cast pearls before swine. So we blame society. We blame someone in specific, our relationship partner, or our parents, or our children, because we can't actually live the life that we chose because now there's a reason why we can't. We blame circumstances. I don't have enough money. I don't have, yet anybody who loves me deeply enough, who cares about me to emerge. Blah, 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 fucking blah. Forever, endless stream. Once you start that process, it goes on forever. You just hire more and more lawyers inside your own psyche to make more and more people responsible for the fact that you came here as a soul and you fucking gave up on yourself. And seeing that, like when you truly see that, it's said that there are places on the planet charged for hundreds of years where a soul fucking realized that and took 100% responsibility from that moment for showing up for themselves, live or die, and access their Mars. So to access that Mars, you've got to claim back the rage in you that will not give that up and will not project out on somebody else's fault. And you notice even in our evolution over 6 weeks, the beginning, the first couple of circles, the conscious war, there was always someone. Someone out there, someone in the circle. Today, there was no one. No one was having a go at anyone else. They were calling out the bits of themselves. They were calling out the part, they were calling themselves to fucking show up. So that's the first step for Mars, is don't let him go out through your solar plexus. Okay, he rules the solar plexus. And if you let him go out through the solar plexus, it's like churn, 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 churn. I can't stand the churn. I can't handle the churn. It's your fault. Fuck you. He's gone out through the solar plexus, and he can do it much less dramatic than that. He can just be like, when you said that, I really felt like you weren't taking responsibility for your feelings and that you were projecting on me. And like, I've started a war. I've let Mars start a war, right? He doesn't try to start the war. He starts the war when I'm not strong enough to hold his energy for what it's supposed to be fucking for, which is to protect my soul. Okay? And as soon as I don't protect my soul, he will go out and try to protect my soul in battle with others, which never goes anywhere. It never produces the result that we want. Has anyone ever produced the result they want by dominating the fuck out of somebody else and making them believe that they were right and the other person was wrong? Has that ever fucking worked? It never has fucking worked. Never. It's like going and making a whole lot of money doing some shit thing that ruins your soul so that one day you can do what your soul came. It never worked. It's never worked. No one can show me one example of a person who did it, and yet half the population more of the planet is still running that lie. The same thing in relationship. Has trying to manipulate the person that's come to love you, that they are fucked somehow and responsible for your wound and your lack of soul expression, has that ever fucking worked? And how often do we try it? Every fucking day. All over the planet, in every fucking house, in every relationship, in every story, is the same fucking immature Mars. So when you truly see it, when you truly see the root of the issue, that the root of the issue is inside us, and it's in our own lack of capacity to understand the warrior in us and what the fuck he's supposed to be fighting for. So the first step is not to let Mars go out through the solar plexus. Right? The solar plexus he can defend. Like, don't let somebody come in and smash your walls. And most of us have that experience, in families or whatever. Maybe we had an emotionally dominant mother or father who just pummeled our solar plexus and pushed their feelings into us. So now we're feeling them inside us, and we can't tell what's us and what's them because that violated our own door. So the first use of rage is get the fuck any energy that's not mine out of me. Fuck off. And that's a divine rage that is useful. You fucking need it. But you're not attacking the person. You're just sealing your own fucking solar plexus that says, this is my seat of my emotions and my power. I will feel what I feel. I won't feel what you feel because you can't fucking handle your feelings and you need to push them into me and let me feel them. I might do that as an act of love, but I'm not going to do it because you force me to. So the first thing that Mars has to do in order to not go out through the solar plexus is seal the solar plexus. He's now a warrior, like a samurai, that refuses to attack, but will fucking defend to the death. So if you don't have rage in your solar plexus, then you can dress it up as love. I'm feeling your feelings for you, I'm an empath, blah, 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 but you're just gutless. You're gutless in the sense that you're not able to set your own boundary at your own solar plexus that says, those feelings are your feelings, these feelings are my feelings. It's okay. I may decide to take your feelings in, I may decide to reflect them back, but you can't just push them into me. Because if you push them into me, then now I will be having to push them into someone else. Or I would have to try to manipulate you by feeling your feelings for you and then somehow making you responsible for the fact that blah, blah, blah. So first act of battle that Mars has to do is seal your own solar plexus. Here is where I fight and die for my integrity as a human being, because if I can't hold my integrity, the soul can't come to birth here. That feeling of being unsafe, it's unsafe because the fucking enemy can ride into your solar plexus anytime they want and take your castle. How can the soul come land in that place? I remember having a dream once where I'm standing on top of my castle and pouring oil and firing arrows at the enemies, but then I looked down and the fucking doors were wide open at the front and the horses were riding in. And so that's when this is not sealed. It's like, I'm just an opening here for whatever projections come, and I do my best to try to handle them. But Mars, when he comes up, says, fuck off. Here's my boundary. Inside this vehicle is me. Inside that is you. I can choose out of love to blend them together, but I'm not going to make your domination of me something that we call love, which is really enmeshment and really emotional manipulation dressed up as something else. First act of love. That's what the god Mars will bring you. Second is transfer your rage of others to rage against God. Okay, it's healthy to have rage against God. That's part of the evolutionary plan of Mars, of our rage. Because what that does is when we locate God up here, the rage against God runs the rage from the solar plexus up through the heart and through the body. And it's the rage from the emotional life that opens the soul. And without enough rage, you can't get your emotions clear up to here. So the rage against God is basically, okay, I can protect myself, but look at the fucking world. Look at what's around me as a result of the lack of healthy use of dark masculine, mainly. The lack of healthy use of the part of us that remembers why we're here, doesn't fucking forget it, is disciplined enough to show up every day and remember it.